Ahead and get started. My name is Suri Deitch, and I'm Dean of the School of Professional Advancement. And I'm joined by Sheila Gold, who's our Executive Director of Recruitment and Admissions. And then we have Madison Duncan, who you may have noticed just posted in the chat box at the bottom of your screen. That's the way to communicate with us during this webinar. And if at any point, feel free to ask questions or make comments. We'll be paying attention. But the first thing we want to start off with is a quick video about the school.
SOPA's mission is to offer high-quality academic programs at the undergraduate and graduate level to working adults and early career professionals in New Orleans and beyond.
What's exciting about the Tulane School of Professional Advancement is they're fast-moving, innovative, creative, using the latest technologies and methods of instruction to prepare students of today for the opportunities of tomorrow.
We are constantly innovating to make sure that the skills and knowledge that we offer in our programs are completely up to date with what is needed in industry.
It is the best education I can get in my particular field at the best value. And on top of all of that, I get to join the legacy that is Tulane.
When you leave the Tulane School of Professional Advancement, you have this incredibly rich set of experiences that you can bring to bear no matter where your professional or personal path takes you. You're not only participating in education, you're investing in yourself and your future.
Great. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Maddie. So we have sort of an ongoing challenge, which is something that a lot of people are facing these days, which is how do you show a video during a Zoom call and have it not be all wonky and out of sync? And we have not yet solved that challenge. So this was our latest try through YouTube, and it actually worked a little bit better than some of our other tries, but still not quite there. So hopefully the general points were made. We really love that video I love that video for a few reasons. One is that it has the provost, who's the chief academic officer and leads the academic program and faculty of the university, talking about how important our school is. And it also features Mike Antoine, who is an alum of the Homeland Security program, and actually about to earn his master's degree, and Lauren Andrus, who is an alum of the digital design program. So we love that video. We want to find a better way to show it during these webinars. It's also on our YouTube channel if you want to see it with no wonkiness or delays. I actually have a question just to start out. If you wouldn't mind introducing yourselves in the chat at the bottom and say where you're located geographically, and anything else that you want to say about yourself real quick while I'm talking in the next minute, that would be fabulous. Because the way this webinar is set up, we can't actually see you, but we can read your comments in the chat box. So if you go to the chat, and you can just share it with all panelists, and go ahead and let us know where you are. So it's in Jacksonville, Florida. That's great. Thank you. Anyone else want to tell us where you are? Someone, Giovanna and Nola, fabulous. Metairie, okay, so we have a pretty local crowd for this. Jacksonville seems like to maybe be the farthest flung, but we're really glad to have all of you. And one of the things we know is we're all kind of in the same boat at the moment. So all of our courses are being taught online. You actually can't go visit our digital design lab in Elmwood, Louisiana at the moment, although hopefully you'll be able to soon. And that's one of the things we want to talk about this evening, right? Everyone, when people get together these days, talking about the virus and their experience right now of how life is going is a really important part of what happens. And we want to address that during this webinar. But we also want to talk more generally about SOPA. And so we've also been thinking about how do we adjust the recruitment webinars we do to take account of what's going on in the world and to reflect on it, and also to talk about the value that Tulane and SOPA bring during this time. So Tulane is a really interesting private research university for having from its very founding focused on applied learning and relevance to the world. When it was founded in 1834 as the Medical College of Louisiana. And then pretty soon after that, the university started educating working adults, which is an unusual thing at the time, and gives us a really proud history that we can be a part of. So the School of Professional Advancement is the most current iteration of Tulane's long-term commitment to working adults and to offering applied learning that's relevant to the workplace. And one of the fabulous things about being in this school and being able to do this work in the year 2020 is that we have both the history and the ability to use today's technologies and creative ways of educating people to offer really excellent programs. And we're in a great place, including we're in a great place right now, right in the middle of a pandemic where many institutions are struggling, honestly, to figure out how to continue their mission. And I wouldn't say that we're not struggling. I think it's a challenge for all of us, but we were actually in a really good position. So the next slide gives an idea of why we think Tulane and SOPA are a great educational alternative at the moment. And it's broken up into 5 different areas that that we then have that we'll then be able to talk about. So the first one is I think front and center at the moment is depth in being able to educate folks online. And so in the next slide, we talk a little bit about the amount of online education that we were already doing before we got into our current situation. So we do it at scale, right? Most students at the School of Professional Advancement were already taking online courses and many hours of coursework. We have the ability to work with you to actually finish your bachelor's degree online, pretty much do an entire bachelor's degree online if that's what you're looking for. We also have a great deal of depth in the sense that we have many programs that are themselves entirely online. We have post-baccalaureate certificates in some areas that are entirely online, including in digital design and paralegal studies. And even in programs that are a mix of what we call on-ground and online, we still have a lot to offer. And we think that's a great opportunity for students, not just because of the convenience and the adaptability, right? Something that we're all experiencing right now, but also because it's a really creative and interactive and rigorous way to teach. And we're just generally really excited about online education, and actually kind of not happy to be in the middle of a pandemic, but glad that more of the world is getting to see what an excellent educational experience going online can be. And then finally, we have award-winning programs in different fields and large numbers of faculty who are trained to teach online successfully. And that's, that's the most important thing, right? The faculty and how they teach. So online is a big deal for us, and very much front and center at the moment, but also going forward, even when we get back into our offices and workplaces and classrooms. Wrong way, Maddie. Okay, thanks. So we have programs, 3 different types of programs at the undergraduate level, and we're not going to have time to go into depth about all of them during this webinar, but this just gives you a sense. So obviously we have bachelor's degrees in many different applied fields, as well as humanities and social science programs that were designed especially for working adults. We have post-baccalaureate certificates, which means certificates in fields of study where you need to have already earned a bachelor's degree in order to enroll. And we draw coursework from the major for the most part. In teacher preparation and certification, we offer a few different certifications that are all offered as part of becoming certified as a teacher in the state of Louisiana. I'll just mention the most recent one, which we're really excited about, is an add-on certification in special education. And then when we have what we call professional certificates, which are largely in business fields, and those programs can be taken with or without a bachelor's degree. So you can enroll in those after you've earned a bachelor's degree and before as well. I see a question from Aberlin Pineda about, are we looking to add programs? We are always adding programs. That's something, we are always sort of assessing need and demand. And in the midst of adding programs, we actually introduced the digital design programs, the exercise science, and the information technology programs pretty recently, or reintroduced them. Like I said, special education is a new one. And we always have a lot going on at the master's level as well. In terms of new programs. I see a question from Edmund about the emergency management certificate. That is actually a graduate certificate. So we have emergency management coursework at the undergraduate level in our Homeland Security Studies program. The emergency management certificate itself is part of a graduate degree. It's a 4-course certificate. And then I see a question from Javier, do we have adult learning course offerings? I guess I would say all of our programs are focused on adult learning. And maybe Javier, you can write a little bit more about what you mean by your question, if I haven't answered it. All right, next slide. We're also really excited about our faculty. We have a fabulous mix of full-time faculty who have spent time in industry, and then folks who are still working in the field and teach with us because they love to teach, and many times they love to teach adult students, or they love to teach an especially diverse student body, such as the one at SOPA, ages 17 to 77, literally. The slide before you has, it's hard to pick. We have so many amazing faculty, but here we just picked 4 to show from different programs, and just one aspect of long careers in the field that they bring into the classroom, so that they are able to associate their real world experience with what they're teaching you, and bring that experience to bear. But they're also, the faculty are also bringing their professional networks that they've built over the course of their careers into their classes. And one of the things they're doing is giving you access to their professional networks. And so the most important thing I would say in any school is to look at the faculty. And there are a lot of other things you want to look at as well, but the faculty are really important, and we're really proud of our faculty. Student support is another area where we offer a great deal to our students. We have dedicated academic advisors and a career advisor. They work individually with students in all of our programs, helping you to figure out the best possible path forward academically, making sure that you have access to the resources that you need so that you can be successful academically. I already mentioned our faculty and the support they provide. And then you, of course, have your peers. And when you graduate from our programs, you become a Tulane alumnus. And so we have opportunities available to you as being part of the worldwide network of millions of Tulane alumni, and all the benefits and privileges that brings. So I see Javier's question in the Q&A box at the bottom. The teaching certificate program is focused on K-12. It's not focused on adult learners, although there's a lot that's relevant to adult learners. But it just so happens that K-12 instruction is a field where there's a lot of structure and a lot of rules around what the courses have to look like and what you have to teach and how to get the certifications. And so that is the program that we have currently. We've talked about developing programs that are focused on teaching adult students, and that may be something we do in the future, but it's not something that we have at the moment. All right. Sheila, why don't you go ahead and...
Sure. Thanks, Suri. And let me just reiterate and say welcome to everybody. We are always honored, or I'm always honored when students take time out of their day to spend it with us and hear about our programs. Of course, we're very excited about what we have to offer. We think we are offering the best programs for what we're doing, and it's a thrill for us to share it with you all. So thank you for doing so. One of the pieces that I always hope that students will walk away from this webinar with is understanding how not only incredibly rigorous our programs are, but how affordable they are. That is part of the mission of the School of Professional Advancement, is to offer really affordable programs to our students that are practical and applied in their field. So just some quick information for you all. Our per credit hour rates for the summertime, which is what we're enrolling for next semester, is $474 a credit hour. That will have a slight increase come the fall. Many of you, I'm assuming, are looking to apply for either the summer or the fall, and the fall will be $524 per credit hour. That, especially for those of you who are here in the New Orleans area, which is many of you who are with us tonight, is incredibly competitive compared to other institutions in the city. So we are very, very proud of that. Another little piece that I'd like to throw in that isn't on this slide is that we also have very few fees associated with our tuition. So if price is a point of comparison, which it is for almost all students, look at tuition, but also look at fees. And that's an area where we feel like we're very competitive as well. SOPA, like all other schools at Tulane and other institutions, offers financial aid. We encourage our students, if they have specific questions, to reach out to our financial aid office, but many students who qualify get financial aid, and we're here to help you with that process as well. Along with financial aid, we also offer federal grants and federal loans. We are a participant in the Yellow Ribbon program for those who that is applicable for. We are a military-friendly school. That is also part of the mission of our school, and we're very proud of that. And we have several 20% discounts for active duty military, K through 12 instructional staff, and New Orleans area public employees. So being a parish employee is something that we also take into account. And so hopefully that will offer some tuition relief for some of you. We also offer up to 24 hours of credit for work and life experience. There is a process associated with getting those credits, but for those of you who make it through that process, and we, through working with an advisor, find that you can have 24 hours of credit applied, that would offer quite a bit of savings for those of you. So we do take affordability quite seriously. Maddie, thank you. So for the 24-hour credits, so we call that credits for prior learning, and this is a process that you have to go through with your program director and also with an advisor, but essentially through a portfolio assessment and an exam, you can work with your advisor to demonstrate that some of the areas that you already have proficiency in as a professional through your working life and through the years actually will count as credits for classes that you wouldn't need to take because you're already an expert in those fields. And like I said, you could potentially earn up to 24 hours of applied credits. So that is a really exciting offering for those of you where that might apply.
Thanks, Sheila. I saw a question from Edmund about military tuition assistance. And actually, we have a large number of veterans and active duty military who are in our student body, about 10% of our students, and they use the GI Bill and other benefits that for which they're eligible. And so, yes, that's a big focus of ours, is being a military friendly school. And that includes, of course, accepting GI Bill benefits. So we do like to talk about the flexibility of the school. And so, we're able to, we say we meet you where you're at. So at the undergraduate level, you could be in a program that's entirely online. You could be in a program that has a mix of on-ground classes that are taught in New Orleans and online. And the majority of our classes that are taught in the classroom take place in the evenings, late afternoons and evenings, and on Saturdays, because that's what our students need. Thank you.
All right, sorry, I'm gonna jump on into the application process. So we are intentional in our application process. We very much try to make this a user-friendly process. We're not trying to trick anybody or make it hard to understand. You can start your application for SOPA by going to our website, sopa.tulane.edu, and on the very top of the homepage, there's a big button that says apply, and that opens up your application portal. And you simply put in a username, your email and a password, and then you can start the application. Once you complete the application, we do require a $40 application fee. However, as our thank you to you for attending this webinar and for spending some of your time with us this evening, we do waive that $40 application fee. We do that automatically on the back end. So once you submit your application, the next step in the process is to pay your fee, and we will take care of that for you. If for some reason you see that the application fee is not waived, please send us an email, and I will be sharing my email address at the end of the webinar, but it should take place on its own. We also require you to upload a current government issued photo ID. This is done simply by, you can take a picture of your driver's license and just upload it to the application. And we also will need official transcripts to be sent to us from any school from which you've attended for credit. They will need to send those transcripts to us. We will need official transcripts in order for you to register for classes should you choose to attend. So those are our application steps. They're not meant to be hard or tricky, but students oftentimes have questions during the application process. Another thing that I'd like you to take away from this webinar is that we are always available to answer those questions. You can email us or call us. Our contact information is all over our website, and we enjoy hearing from students, so please don't hesitate to reach out. We have starts every semester. So our application deadlines for fall are August 15th. For spring is January 1, and for summer is May 15th. So for those of you who are applying for summer, you have until May 15th, plenty of time to get that application in. Some of you all may be looking for fall, that is August 15th, and some of you might be planners and looking for a spring admission, and that's a January 1 deadline. So you have plenty of time for any of those 3 semester starts.
Great. So any more questions for us? We've been sort of responding to them as we've gone along. And also any specific programs that you're interested in that for which you'd like us to follow up. We're happy to hear. See a question from Michelle. I only have a GED. Actually, I would not say you only have a GED. I'd say you have a high school diploma, and we have a fair number of students who've earned a GED. Actually, Lauren Andress, who you saw in the video, I think her hair was pink then, now it's actually purple. Lauren is one of our students graduating this year who had a GED instead of a high school diploma. And I'll just tell you about Lauren, that Lauren is earning one of the most prestigious, well, actually the most prestigious award that Tulane offers to graduating students every year, which is called Tulane 34. So Lauren Andrus, who has a GED, is one of 34 students graduating from Tulane this year out of thousands, who's being held up as a paragon of academic excellence and community service. So we are very happy to have students with GEDs. I see a question about minoring in a program in a different school, and you can do that. That's something that many of our students do. Actually, many undergraduates at Tulane will have double majors or a major and a minor. Sometimes people are crazy enough to do a triple major. And so that's pretty common with our students, and that is something that you're able to do. In terms of the question about the dietitian program, I actually I don't believe that there is, the School of Public Health has an undergraduate major. It's not a dietitian program, but it might be the case that the exercise science program at SOPA is good preparation for going on to earn a degree in the dietitian area. Edmund's question about whether or not you need an undergraduate degree in a related field to get into our graduate programs. You generally do not. In some cases, we require either experience from the field or an area of undergraduate study that's relevant. That's really in IT. And in our other graduate degrees, students come in with a wide range of backgrounds. And work experience can be very important, actually, as part of the admissions process, and also in terms of being able to do graduate study. We are happy to follow up with you, Edmund, and with others who are interested in learning more about our graduate programs. We have general webinars for our graduate programs. We also have many program-specific webinars, and we're happy to provide more information. Any other questions for us right this moment? Well, you see Sheila's contact information on the screen. As she said, we're very available. You'll be receiving a follow-up email from her tomorrow with a link to this webinar in case you want to listen to it all over again, but also with her contact information. And again, we look forward to being in touch. We look forward to seeing your applications for admission and having you become SOPA students. And, you know, most importantly, as people say these days, stay safe and healthy. And we wish that for you and for your friends and families. I see a few more questions that came up in the Q&A box at the bottom, and from Gary. We can follow up with you about financial aid. That's something that we'll do. And the exercise science program is actually a great preparation for physical therapy school. But physical therapy school is generally it's a graduate program, but it's very common for students to come out of our exercise science program and to go to PT school or another allied health occupation master's degree. And then I see Irenacea's question about public relations or business and about being a teacher. So you can have an associate's degree in fine arts and transfer your credits depending on the institution that you went to. So I think we should follow up with you directly, but I will say that we actually, we have an articulation agreement, that's what it's called, with the Louisiana Community and Technical College System, so that all students coming out of those schools in particular with an associate degree are able to transfer their credits into SOPA to work toward a bachelor's degree. We will follow up with you individually about some of your questions that you've posted in the Q&A box and in the chat at the bottom of the screen. But for now, we'll say have a good evening. Thanks again for joining us. We really appreciate you taking the time to be with us this evening. So